Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare So today we will take another beautiful song. It is called Krishna Nam. Krishna Nam Hare and you can space making songs. Krishna Nam Hare making songs. It's a beautiful song Vaishnava in the book called Satcitananda, in the section of Bhajan Nam. Let me know if you have found this song. Krishna Nam Hare, T-H-A-R, Kotobal, take a song.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Vishaya Vanyanade Muraji Prasadad Vishaya Vanyanade Muraji Prasadad Karnaram Drapote Ridhimadi Praveda Parati Sudha Atma Paramahansa Pritaya Vaite Bode Jivara Agni Jode Kandaru Prenate Arashara Kantamo Swasa Angakapeswara Nityam Tenam Parinchara Udaki Tasavacana Vara Raho
वारतार वर्णिते न पारीशक कृष्ण नाम इच्छा मोया जाहे जाहे सुखी होय से मोर सुखेर संबल कृष्ण नाम होरे हो तो मेरा कलिका नाम अद्भुत ऋषिर धाम एनो लतार प्रकाश ईशत विकासितो नः देखाय निज रूप गुण चित्त हरिलो कृष्ण पास कृष्ण नाम धोरे हो तो बल पूर्ण विकसित होया ब्रजे मो प्रजाय लोया दिखाय मोरे स्वरूप विलास मोर सिद्ध देह दिया कृष्ण पासे राखे गिया ए देहे प्रपोरे सर्वनाश कृष्ण नाम धोरे हो तो भला कृष्ण नाम चिंतामणि अखिल रसिर खानी नित्य मोक्त सुधा रसमोय ना मेरा भलाई जाता सबलो ए होय हाटा तबे मोर सुखे हृदय कृष्ण नाम धो तो भला कृष्ण नाम धोरे तो भला Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Jayo Radha Vinod Radha Vinod Shri Radhe Jai Jagannath Jai Jagannath Jaya Baladev Jaya Subhadra Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Gaura Hari Jaya Satcitananda Gaura Hari Patita Pavana Gaura Hari Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Jai Om Vishnupat Paramahansa Parivajakacarya Ashtottar Shata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki ब्रह्म मधु गौड़ीय संप्रदाय आचार्य गुरुवर की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिनी हरिनाम संकीर्तन की गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories to the seven devotees. All glories to the seven devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpataro Vyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्य मनोयविष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीव सादद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य देव श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सगण ललिता श्री विशाख नवनीरद निंदित कांति धरम रस सागर नागर भूपवरम शुभवंकिमचारु शिखंड सिखिम भज कृष्ण निधिम व्रजराज राधिका सरोद इंदु निंदि मुख मंडली वंदिये श्रीपाद पद्म वृषभानुनंदिनी वंदिये श्रीपाद पद्म वृषभानुनंदिनी वंदिये श्रीपाद पद्म वृषभानुनंदिनी आजानुलंबित भुजो कनकाय अवधात संकीर्तन पितरवो कमलायताक्ष विश्वंभरो द्विजवरो युग धर्म पालो वंदे जगत प्रिय करो करुणा अवतार यस्या प्रसादात् भगवत प्रसाद यस्य प्रसादात् न गति कुतोपि ध्यानस्तुवां यस्य स्त्री संध्या वंदे गुरोः श्री चरणारविंद वंदे गुरोः श्री चरणारविंद वंदे गुरोः श्री चरणारविंद. So Hare Krishna, I am again very honored and humbled to be here at ISKCON ICC in Bangalore, and it is my great pleasure to share a little bit of Krishna consciousness in whatever capacity I may have. So I'm seeking your blessings that whatever I speak is in line with our Gaudiya Parampara. For the pleasure of His Divine Graces, all the Prabhupadas. Hare Krishna. So our theme for this visit is the importance of the songs of the Vaishnavacharyas. I kindly request each one of you to check your phones. Take about 10-15 seconds so that they do not create any distraction. Please, I humbly beg. And so if somebody can close that door, that will be nice. Please close it. Thank you. There are so many wonderful topics in our Krishna consciousness movement that very seldom we hear or speak nowadays. And it is so important because all our activities that we do on a daily basis in our sadhana, we need to really hear about those topics so that it will enhance our sadhana so nicely that it will bring us to the ultimate prayojan or the ultimate goal. You can set it here, Prabhuji, if this is disturbing. Yeah, understand. Because it is good to preach about Bhagavad Gita. It is good to preach about sadhana. But at least on an informational level, we should know, as I mentioned yesterday, who we are. What is our ultimate goal? And if we miss that, it is like a student who has wasted a seat in Stanford, Harvard, or IIT, not knowing exactly, although they have made it there, they don't know what their ultimate goal is. I gave this example that if you stand outside a college and ask any student, my dear student, what are you studying? And immediately he will say, I'm studying mechanical engineering. He's not graduated yet, but he knows what he's studying. So similarly, we as followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupanugas, in the line where our great stalwarts like His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, uh, we should know what our ultimate goal of life is, or existence rather, not just life, existence. Otherwise, somewhere, although we have been given admission into the greatest college of theism, we have somehow or the other, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Devi Sudarshan Chakra ki jai, Shri Radha Vinod ji ki jai, Shri Patita Pavan and Nitai Gaur Sundar ki jai, all their lordships ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Sometimes we take our process very mechanically. And when that happens, of course, there will be some progress, but not the optimal progress that will really please Prabhupada, and also it will give us full satisfaction. In the Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshaje. Ahituki apratiyata jena atma suprasidhati. The Atma will be completely satisfied when we are completely engrossed in the service of Adokshaja. One of the names of Krishna is Adokshaja. Akshaja means our senses. We can even say our eyes. But in particular, it means Adokshaja means one who cannot be perceived with our normal material senses. And that is one of the names of Krishna. And by performing what kind of bhakti? Ahituki, without any material motivation. Just like Rupa Goswami and Narad ji say, what is that? Anya Bilashita Sunya, Jnana Karma Navratam, Anukulyana Krishna Anushilanam, Tad Bhakti Ruttam. That is Uttam Bhakti. Without uh, any material motivation, zero. We never ask for anything material. That is what our Gaudiya Vaishnavism teaches. In fact, Mother Kunti is asking, even if there is so many troubles, please give me more, so that my remembrance of you uh, will always be there, O Krishna. That is the kind of quality of devotion that we should always be, at least in the back of our heads, be aware of. That is where I need to be. Ahituki apratiyata and uninterrupted. Sometimes feeling good, I will do. Sometimes feeling bad, some problems in my life, I will come more to the temple, I will chant more. But when the temporary problem is solved, then the complacency takes place. So that's not Bhagavad Dharma. Ahituki aprita. And what is the result if we perform that kind of devotion? Jena Atma Suprasidhati. Then the soul or the self will be satisfied. And also our Acharya's comment, the word Jena Atma Suprasidhati means that Atma or the Supreme Personality of Godhead will be satisfied by our bhakti. Just like in Chaitanya Charitam, Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela, chapter number 20, Chaitanya Sistastakam. We all know the general meaning, but there are very deep, deep meanings, unlimited deep meanings on the holy names. And if one has even slightly understood Chaitanya Sistastakam, then one is very fortunate. And one will have the real taste, at least the hankering for real taste for the holy names. When Mahaprabhu says, Cheto Darpada Marjanam Bhava Mahadava Agni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Ananda Ambudi Vardhanam. That word Ananda Ambudi Vardhanam itself can be explained in several different ways. Many from the normal external perspective and from many, many internal perspectives. Every song or every composition that the great personalities compose, there is a message. One for the sadhak, for Vaidhi Bhakti, and second, because it is their heart's rendering, it has got a very deep internal meaning, which actually transports us to the highest platform if we are able to understand and if somebody is able to explain those. Of course, due to the limited time, I would love to have to kind of combine this song with Chaitanya Sistastakam, but I will see whatever I can. Excuse me, Hare Krishna. That word Ananda Amudi Vardhanam, just to give one example, just one out of the hundreds, means just connecting to this verse, Jena Atma Suprasiddhati of Savai Pumsam Parodharma. It has a double meaning also. One is the devotee who is chanting very nicely the holy names. That devotee's ocean of bliss increases. Ananda Ambudi Vardhanam. Anand means bliss, Ambudi means ocean, and Vardhanam means to increase. Like, for example, the meaning of Govardhan is Govardhan, one who increases the bliss of cows, one who increases the bliss of the gopis, one who increases the bliss of the gopas, one who increases the bliss of all the devotees, their senses. That is the meaning of Govardhan. So, Anandamudi Vardhanam means the devotee who is practicing Krishna consciousness very nicely in sadhana bhakti as well as raganuga bhakti, both, their ocean of bliss will increase. It is that I had mentioned yesterday at the um, ISKCON Whitefield Center. This that Prabhupada has mentioned that Krishna consciousness is not static, it is not stagnant, it is dynamic. And if we do not, if we feel that stagnancy, something is wrong in our sadhana. And that includes chanting, that includes hearing, that includes following the instructions of His divine grace. Somewhere we are missing the boat. If we are unhappy, a devotee means always happy. What is the meaning of the word Prahlad? Prakrishta Rupena Allad iti Prahlad. Prakrishta means extremely, and Allad means joy. So, one who is extremely joyful, that is the greatest symptom of a devotee. Brahma Bhuta Prasanna Uh, one who is situated on the self-realization platform is always very happy. So, if we are not happy, then there is something wrong in our sadhana. So, Ananda Ambudi Vardhanam. Uh, if that Anand does not keep increasing, it is not that like in material world we have attained a certain degree, like okay, finished, now I have attained PhD, I'm done with my education. This is not like that. This is Ananda Ambudi Vardhanam. Especially when we chant the holy names in the proper perspective, the ocean of bliss will keep increasing. Now, another word, just like Jena Atma Suprasiddhati, Ananda Ambudi Vardhanam means that when we are situated on the highest platform of bhakti, or at least even if we are making a very, very sincere attempt, or we even have that very, very deep, deep, deep desire within us, then it increases the bliss of Radha and Krishna. That the meaning of the word Ananda Mudi Vardhanam means it increases their bliss also. These are the commentaries of the Acharyas. Many, many such words are wonderful. that have a double meaning. Hmm. Like for example, we say Gopinath. I don't know if I said this here or I said it yesterday. So there are at least two meanings of the word Gopinath. The most common meaning is uh, Krishna is the master or the nath of gopis. But a rasic meaning for a rasic Vaishnava who is situated in pure Vraj Bhakti will immediately, first thing will come to their mind is gopis are the nath. Grammatically in Sanskrit, both are absolutely correct. Gopis are the nath, meaning they even control Krishna. Hmm? And we have seen that in Kartik we sing Damodar Ashtakam, how Krishna is controlled by the love of Mother Yashoda, and not only by the love of Mother Yashoda, by the love of gopis. Actually, Damodar Ashtakam, why it is so dear to our Vaishnava Acharyas? So we have to read the commentaries. For example, Jiva Goswami's Gopal Champu, chapter number 8. Srila Sanatan Goswami's commentary in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, Digdarshani, very deep. We are not interested in Vatsalya Rasa. It appears, idam te vapurnatham gopala balam sada me manasi avirashtam ki manye. Fourth verse. But why is Sanatan Goswami interested in it? No, we are not upasaks of Bal Gopal Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give us that Madhurya Rasa. To taste that Madhurya Rasa, he came, Nanda Nandan Krishna. Not to taste Vatsalya Rasa, not to taste Sakhya Rasa, not to taste the Dasya Rasa in Vraj. There is Dasya Rasa in also Vrindavan. Mostly we think that Dasya Rasa is only present in Vaikuntha. The Dasya Rasa of Vaikuntha is different and the Dasya Rasa of Vrindavan is different. For example, Krishna has his servants Chitrak and Patrak. They are in Dasya Rasa also. But their Dasya Rasa has got a lot of sweetness, which is not present, or that epitome is not present in Vaikuntha. So all these rasas are present even in Vraj. But Mahaprabhu came to give us the highest of the highest. And he came to taste the highest of the taste. First he tasted and then he gave. The internal reason of Mahaprabhu is what? To taste. When Krishna decided that I am very happy when I meet the gopis. But the gopis are even more happier. And this special gopi, Srimati Radharani, is the most happiest. What is she feeling? What is she feeling? She's always in bliss, even when she is. Why is it after so many instructions? Oh, temple phone, I see. Okay, I apologize. Actually, the lie is broken when such distraction happens. And I'm not reading some from notes. Whatever is coming within the heart, I try to express spontaneously. Yes, thank you so much. So he came to taste from the perspective of Srimati Radharani his own sweetness, number one. Number two, his internal mood. Number two, what is it that Srimati Radharani feels in his association? What kind of madness does she feel? See, we all, in ISKCON, if we ask any devotee, what is your highest goal? They say Krishna Prema. But what kind of Krishna Prema? We must know this, at least on an informational level. Like for example, we are here in the IT hub of the whole world actually, Bangalore. And so many devotees are working, or even many people are working in IT sector. And just to give a mundane example, a material example, there is this aspiration of many to go to the United States and actually join the Fortune 500 companies. But unless and until we have information of the United States, we cannot even dream of going there. Or any land or any place. Even if you have to take a vacation and you want to go to a new place, uh, you have to first know that there is such and such place existing. Hmm? Otherwise, you cannot even think of going there. So similarly, on an informational level, we should be aware of our prayojan or our final goal as Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Nandan Krishna, he wanted to taste his own sweetness from the perspective of Srimati Radharani, to feel what Radharani feels, and which is the highest ecstasy. Even though if we attain Raganuga Bhakti and we attain Vraj Bhakti and we enter into the Madhurya Rasa, and within Madhurya Rasa we enter into the Swapaksha Gopis or the camp of Srimati Radharani's dear Gopis, we cannot attain the bhav that Srimati Radharani attains. We can attain, I was talking about prema. So there are different delineations of prema. There is what kind of prema we are looking for. So there is a snigdha prema. Snigdha is like very soft. That prema is obtained by the sakhas of Krishna. There is gritta prema, like ghee. Gritta means ghee. That prema that is obtained by the elderly gopis and gopas following the footsteps of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai in Vatsalya Rasa. Then comes within Madhurya Rasa, there are different delineations of prem. There is man, where there is sulkiness. So just not Radharani is feeling that man. Even Lalita, Vishakha and so many other Varishta gopis, they feel that. Man means the transcendental anger or upset. Krishna does something and they get very upset at Krishna. That is their adhikar. And that is why that is also called, what is the difference between the Madhurya Ras Prem they even have in Dwarka, the gopis or the queens like Rukmini, Satyabhama, Jamvati, Mitravinda, all the 16,108 wives of Krishna in Dwarka or Dwarkadish's wives, the queens, they also possess Madhurya Rasa. But the Madhurya Ras in Dwarka is different from the Madhurya Ras in Vrindavan. These little bit things when we understand or at least we hear, then we will appreciate our movement even more, the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Otherwise, we are practicing everything mechanically and more or less externally. So, there are two types of Madhurya Rasas also. One is Dakshin Bhav or the right side, and one is Bhamya Bhav, the leftist. What is the main difference between the two Madhurya Rasas of Dwarka and Madhurya Rasa of Vrindavan? Vrindavan is leftist, Bhamya Bhav. And we are talking about the Swapaksha Gopis of Srimati Radharani especially and Radharani herself. In Bhamya Bhav, the mood is Krishna, you are mine. Krishna, full over possessiveness. Krishna, you are mine. But in Dakshin Bhav, Krishna, we are yours. So those who are saying Krishna, you are mine, that means they are able to control Krishna fully. They are able to control Krishna fully. And it is not the goal of them that they really intend to control Krishna fully. It is for the pleasure of Krishna they control like that. It's a very, very deep secret. For the pleasure of Krishna, sometimes the gopis like Lalita and Vishakha, Vishakha has a very sharp tongue. Very, very sharp tongue. When she speaks, sometimes it is unbearable, especially when she chastises Krishna. And when Radharani is upset, our whole goal in Krishna consciousness is to ultimately attain Radha Dasyam. That is Gaudiya Vaishnava goal. Krishna is secondary, first Srimati Radharani. If Radharani is upset, all the Swapaksha gopis are extremely upset at Krishna, just not Srimati Radharani. They feel the same. And same bhav. They get the same bhav. Krishna is supposed to meet Radharani so many times it happens, practically almost every day. In the Ratri Leela, in the Nikunja Leela, and he comes late 2 hours. The Ratri Leela, it is explained by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in the Govind Leela Amrit, is from 12 midnight to about 3:20 a.m. to be precise. And that's where the highest of the highest prema is exhibited in the amorous pastimes of Radha and Krishna, which Vrindadevi and the Swapaksha gopis, including the Manjaris, they make wonderful arrangements. Nikunja yono rati keli siddhyai. Decorating the Nikunja. What is a Nikunja? Nikunja is a beautiful room, if I may say so, that is naturally made by the entangling of the branches of many trees. It creates a natural room. If you go to Vrindavan, we'll see on Govardhan, you will see that. Especially if you go to Nidhivan, there are small trees that create a little sitting place. But these Nikunjas are pretty large and they have a lot of jewels. We cannot see them. In Gaharvan, in Barsana, they have that also. But those who are perfected, sadhus, Vaishnavas, they can see those leelas even today. So those who go into the Nikunja, they are very, very special, and those leelas happen usually in the Ratri Leela. After Ras Leela, they enter the Nikunja. Just like after a nice Nagar Sankirtan, then we come back to our homes or in the temple. And there they relax. Beautiful flower beds are made. Different aromatic substances are offered. The ambience is unbelievable. We cannot even imagine. And particularly Srimati Radharani prepares those, makes those arrangements. She asks Rupa Manjari, please, you make sure that everything is perfect because Krishna will be coming soon. One of the differences, by the way, since I've said this, everybody, most of you all may know, how many of you all have heard the word Manjaris? Okay. What is the difference between the Manjaris and the Gopis, if I may ask? We'll make it a little interactive. Huh? The Gopis are also Lalita, Vishakha, etc. Huh? Centered towards Krishna. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? I saw 4 or 5 hands go up. What is the difference between the Gopis and the Manjaris? Or who are Manjaris? Yes, Prabhuji? Loudly a little bit. Very nice. That's one characteristics of the Manjaris. When they enter into the Nikunj, the Ashtasakis or the other beloved Sakis of Srimati Radharani, Swapaksha Gopis, they do not enter. They enter for a little bit and then they leave. Because the most confidential pastimes, they cannot perform Radha and Krishna in front of the other gopis. But the Manjaris, the second characteristics is they are very, very much younger to Lalita, Vishakha and the Ashtasakis. And Radha Krishna don't mind their presence. Their amorous love will not be hindered or there will be no distraction. To make that example a little easier, when, let's say there is two adults, they are fighting verbally, uh, and when another adult comes into the room, immediately they will stop. They will ask, what happened? Oh, nothing, nothing. Let's say it is husband wife. Hmm? Let's say they are quarreling over something. Or on the other hand, let's say they are in a romantic mood and maybe they are hugging or something like that, and somebody comes in, some adult, then immediately they will stop. Both their moods, whether quarreling or romance, is hindered uh, when some adult comes in. But when a child comes in who is so innocent that then their quarreling will continue. They will not really, it will not hinder their mood. So similarly, those manjaris, the second characteristics is they have the privilege of going in to those nikunjas, and still Radha and Krishna eternally, all the, especially the manjaris and gopis, they desire to serve. Nikunja rati keli siddhya yaya alibir yuktir apekshaneya. Please engage me in the service. So Lalita says, okay, Roop Manjari, you go and you gather your other Manjari's team, and today they will be in this Nikunja in Gaharwan, or they will be in this particular area of Raj, or in Vamshivat. So many different places, these different pastimes happen. So then it has to be orchestrated nicely, and under the guidance of Vrinda Devi, they all gather and they decide what color flowers, uh, all those wonderful, just like the head pujari decides what kind of dress we are going to adorn Radha Krishna with today, etc. So all that planning goes on. And that planning is implemented especially by those manjaris because they are able to go in, but Lalita and Vishakha and the other gopis cannot go in. So that is why it is so important. All our acharyas, we have to know they are manjaris. Of course, somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, who are you? And he said that if I tell you who I am, you will faint. But through the proper hearing process and by the proper nyay, in Sanskrit, we have this subject called nyay or logic. And by hearing some Varishta Vaishnavas, we can deduce that Srila Prabhupada is probably present in more than one rasa. Because Srila Prabhupada wrote that poem on Jaldut, Markini Bhagavat, there is this part where he says, when will the day come when I will be frolicking in the meadows of Vrindavan and doing lutaputi, grabbing the lunches with my friends. So here we can kind of say that Prabhupada is going Gocharan. He uses the word Gocharan in that poem with his coward friends. So that displays that Prabhupada has a mood of Sakyaras. It may be so that Prabhupada is in Sakyaras, but definitely he is in Manjari also. We cannot limit the residents of Golok Vrindavan and we cannot limit Krishna. If he wants somebody that be present in all five rasas, that personality will be present. Like Lord Balram. Like Arjun. Arjun, not the Arjun of Mahabharata. There is Arjun Sakha in Vrindavan. He himself became also Vishakha Sakhi. Both in Sakhya and in Madhurya he is present. So, like that, yes, Prabhupada, based on that poem, he is expressing that. But also, Srila Prabhupada is in his pranam mantra. And we had given 7 years ago, I think, or 8 years ago, seminar on Srila Prabhupada's pranam mantra, Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale, in Sri Vrindavan Dham during Kartik. If somebody is interested, you can still go. It is available on the ISKCON Vrindavan website, YouTube. All you have to do is Prabhupada Pranam Mantra and you can add the additional keywords Satcitananda's 2-day seminar was given, and Srila Prabhupada disciples who attended, they even appreciated very much because some of them or most of them said we had never heard this before. So this is just the mercy of maybe Srila Prabhupada wanted that, I purify myself so that I can speak something on his pranam mantra. So now talking about the Madhuri Rasa, how we can determine, but this is very important for us to know, especially those who are in ISKCON, because there is certain camps outside of ISKCON who say or claim that your Prabhupada has given only your Ka Kha Ga, ABCD. You have to come to us if you want more rasa, if you want Madhuri Rasa. And that question was asked by one Prabhupada disciple. That this is what they say at the end of the seminar, in the question answer session. How do you say, what do you say to that? It was a very tough question for me and I never expected that. But somehow or the other, when we sometimes sit on the Vyasasana, and if we very pray sincerely, and especially if our Mangalacharan is heartfelt, and before we start, we pray to the Acharyas, then they kind of take over. As long as we let them take over. I always say this, that this seat here, it is not that it is the quality of the speaker. It may be so, that the audience may feel that, but the speaker should never feel like that. It is always the mercy of Srila Prabhupada flowing and the Varishta Vaishnavas. Because as far as we are concerned, Janmana Jayate Shudra, Sanskarat Bhavati Dvija. We are all Shudras. We, through Sanskaras. Shudra means ignorant, not that Achuta Shudra. Yeah. We are all Shudras, ignorant. Even to learn our ABCDs and to learn to speak Mama, Papa, Dada, Dadi, we have to learn from scratch, even the language. So we are ignorant. We learn from scratch. Similarly, spiritual knowledge. We are ignorant, but we can obtain it through sanskaras, through the proper process. And Srila Prabhupada has given us the complete map of sanskaras, how we can become good devotees. So, sorry, what was I saying earlier before I talked about Janmana Jaya Shudra? Anybody? 1 second, you tell 1%. 5 people are speaking.
You're asking about the ABC.
Prabhupada has given, your Prabhupada has only given ABCD. You come to us. Why? Because Srila Prabhupada, they give this argument about this Markini Bhagavat poem, where Prabhupada is expressing about gocharan, cow herding, about sitting in a picnic and grabbing the lunch, lutaputi. In Bangla, it is called lutaputi. And then they also say that Srila Prabhupada in Vrindavan Dham, he established Krishna Balram Mandir. The main deities are Krishna Balram. So to them, and why I am saying this, that someday we will all encounter this. And if we are not able to properly speak on the greatness of Srila Prabhupada, then we are defeated. Our Prabhupada is defeated. He can never be defeated, but in that sense, from their perspective, see, you all don't know all this, come to us. You see the point, what I'm trying to make. So we have to know how properly we should give these answers. So, how would we respond when they say like that? So let's first talk about Krishna Balram, Mandir in Vrindavan. Is it not true just to the left of Krishna Balram there is Lalita, Vishaka, Radha, Syam Sundar? Why are you just looking at Krishna Balram only? I can only see this Mridanga Prabhuji here. I cannot see anybody else. So therefore there is Madhurya Ras present there in the heart of Prabhupada. Prabhupada made his home Vrindavan. Sometimes those persons, even within the Krishna consciousness purview, They want to elect and select whatever suits them, which includes our Ritwik brothers and sisters. They want to elect and select Prabhupada's messages without really understanding the deep meaning of what. And therefore, I constantly say, I pray that I understand Srila Prabhupada more and more every day. It is like reading a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Again and again we get Navarasa. New and new rasas are imparted in our heart. It is not, again, Krishna consciousness is not static, it is dynamic. So similarly, the verses in the Shastras, the more we get mature, the more beautiful things are revealed to us. Secondly, in Srila Prabhupada's Pranam Mantra, we have Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve. Sometimes devotees they pronounce Saraswati Devi. It is Saraswati. How is it Saraswati? The transcendental son of Saraswati Thakur, meaning our Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, is Saraswati. Son of Vasudev is Vasudev. The daughter of King Janak is Janaki, etc. So Saraswati Devi. Now if Saraswati Thakur, we know his transcendental position, when he comes here and also when he is in Radha Krishna's Nitya Leela, in Vrindavan, Golok Vrindavan, he is Nayana Manjari. How many of you all knew that? Please raise your hands. Very nice. And do you know what his service is? Most prominent service as Nayan Manjari? Everybody has a service. When even right now, whatever we are practicing, the service, that's what those services will be available to us when we are completely purified and we go home back to Golok Vrindavan, if we reach there. Everybody has a very special service. Sometimes there are multifarious, but there is a very special service. Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his main service is to apply alta to the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. Alta is that red lac. If you have ever noticed, the lotus feet of even Krishna has red lac. It's very reddish and it even outlines on the periphery of the lotus feet. That alta. That is his service. And I think yesterday I mentioned Narottam Das Thakur's service. Anybody remembers? His eternal service? Making milk for Radha and Krishna for Nikunja. One time, that is why when we chant, this is a very, very big topic. And I will continue to speak as long as devotees are patient. Even if there is one devotee, I will finish this topic today on the holy names. I don't mind. But if you have any services or if you have to take prasadam, you may leave any time. I will not feel offended. Don't stay out of respect for me. Stay out of love for hearing about this subject. That's what I would say. So even when we are chanting the holy names, what is happening? That everybody feels this one thing, that we get distracted. Is it not? How many of you all are distracted while chanting the holy names? Translate karo bhaiya inke liye. Please translate. How many of you all are distracted while chanting the holy names? So you are not distracted. My obeisance to you. Maybe you can impart how to chant the holy names to me. We are all distracted. But the process is that we have to follow in the footsteps of the acharyas. Dharmastha tatta nihitam guhyam mahajana jena gata sapantaha. What do our acharyas, how do they chant? Audibly, of course, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And they concentrate on some leela, on some seva, on some verses. That way the mind doesn't get distracted. Even if it gets distracted for a moment, it comes back. Try this process. Believe it or not, this 16 good rounds will happen and it will be a breeze. 32 rounds will also be a breeze sometimes, once we get absorbed in it. And Narottam Das Thakur and all our acharyas, that's how they chanted the holy names. While chanting, he knows his eternal seva is to make milk, and while he was heating up milk, in his chanting trance, in his samadhi while chanting, the milk overflowed, was about to overflow, and he could not have enough time to get tongs or sansi. So he took his bare fingers, because this milk is Radha Krishna's. It should not be wasted. And he took and put it with his bare hands, with his fingers down, and his fingers got burnt. When he woke up from his chanting, meaning his samadhi, while chanting the holy names, and when one Varishta Vaishnava saw that, who is also a Manjari, he says, yes, what happened? You did not have a cloth or a sansi to pick up. You burnt your hands, your fingers, while chanting. This dasha actually happened in Vrindavan. So we all have our services. And when Srila Prabhupada is Namaste Saraswati Devi, if Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada is Nayana Manjari, who is a disciple of Guna Manjari, meaning Srila Gaurkishore Maharaj, who is a disciple of Kamala Manjari, meaning Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who is a disciple of Rasa Manjari, meaning Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, and in this parampara, Narottam Das Thakur, Champaklata Manjari, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, whose song Mangalarti we sing every day, Vinod Manjari, who are in the line, Narottam Das Thakur's Gurudev, Lokanath Lokera Jivan. How many of us contemplate that he is calling out to his Gurudev? Narottam Das Thakur in our Sri Guru Charana Padma, Kevala Bhakti Sadma Guru Puja. Lokanath Lokera Jivan. My dear Gurudev Lokanath Goswami is the life and soul of the Vaishnavas. Lokanath Goswami is Manjulali Manjari. Jiva Goswami Vilas Manjari. Gopal Bhatta Goswami Guna Manjari. Raghunath Bhatta Goswami Rasa Manjari. Raghunath Das Goswami Rati Manjari, or also known as Tulsi Manjari. Rup Goswami Rupa Manjari. And Sanatan Goswami Lavanga Manjari. And Rup Manjari is the head of all the Manjaris. We were speaking the difference between the Manjaris and the Gopis. One of the differences that the Gopis like Lalita and Vishaka cannot be ordered by Srimati Radharani. That go bring me some water. Or go bring a garland quickly, Krishna is going to come. But she can order Rupa Manjari. That closeness is there. You can only request with some, because they are Varishta, these gopis. Radharani cannot order, but she can order the Manjaris because they are much younger and they are very enthusiastic. They are Kimkaris. Kimkari means, did I explain that yesterday? Kim means what and Kari means what should I do? Continuous, spontaneous bhav for seva. That is the difference. And another difference is Manjaris never ever cross their minds to desire to have any kind of physical relation or romance with Krishna. The other Varishta Gopis, yes, they do have. Like Lalita Sakhi was actually married by Radharani in Uchchagaon. Have you been to the Lalita Bihari temple in Uchagaon, not too far from Barsana. So Krishna can have, even within Swapaksha gopis, the amorous prema. But Manjaris don't even conceive of that. They're always waiting to glorify the love of Radha and Krishna, especially, rather than being enjoyed by Krishna. Very, very important. This is one of the most important components of Manjari Bhav. Another very important component of Manjari Bhav is they're always wanting the meeting, the union of Radha and Krishna. They're always trying to find methods or services in which Radha and Krishna, even though they're sometimes upset at each other, how to pacify them. Like, I think I said this yesterday, or was it somewhere else? I forget. But whenever there were two devotees quarreling or fighting in Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he would call them, come sit here. So he would tell one devotee, the first one, tell me, what are the good things in this devotee? They are so upset at each other, first there's nothing coming out of their mouth. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would say, go on, tell me, there must be something good. So this both devotees who are upset, if one devotee says he's chanting Hare Krishna. Then the other devotee, now your chance. He's also reluctant to say he's so angry. Then slowly he says he comes for Mangal Arati every day. So like this, the good qualities Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada used to bring out so that all those things would go away. And then surely they would become again good friends. That's a very good method, I think, that we should, administrators in all temples should follow in the footsteps of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. So basically what I'm trying to say here is, connecting the dots, they're always, Radha and Krishna may be quarreling, they're upset at each other, but here they are trying to bring them together always by reminding them of the sweetnesses of how Krishna joked yesterday and how you laughed so nicely, Radharani. Come on, what's your problem now? Come on, smile, laugh, and like that they will make them induce the prema in a very, very sweet way. That is Manjari. And the fourth thing about Manjari is they are very expert in their seva. Nikunja, you know, Rati Keli Siddhyai. Siddhi means expert. Without being told, they are able to understand what is in the heart of Radha and Krishna. Now, who is Radha and Krishna? Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Manoyabhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale. And who is that? Srila Rupa Goswami. Within the core of the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whatever he desired, without even telling anything, he established so many wonderful principles of bhakti, siddhanta and rasa, both. Because that was the desire within the inner core, in the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu is Radha Krishna, nahi anya. One time, many times actually, not one time. I think this is mentioned in the Tika of Raghunath Das Goswami's Vilap Kusum Manjali, where Radharani is so pleased with the Manjaris, she says, why don't you become my Sakhis? I'll offer you that. Please pay very rapt attention to this because this is a very, very important point about Manjari Seva. I am ready to give you, I love you so much, all of you. I can give you the adhikar of Sakhis. And just like Satyavrat Muni is upset when Krishna offers. By the way, those who have studied, I saw somebody shake their head earlier, oh, that brahmachari is gone. In Damodar Ashtakam, it is basically a conversation between Satyavrat Muni and Krishna. Subtle conversations. It's called subtle conversation known as Sukshma Samvad. Only those Rasik devotees can see that and hear that. Otherwise, when we are on the surface, we are simply singing and reading the standard translation. But Damodar Ashtakam is also extremely deep in nature. Just in this Kartik, they had ordered me to give seminar on Damodar Ashtakam in Krishna Balram Mandir in Vrindavan. So we were fortunate to purify ourselves and along the way give a lot of pleasure to the Vaishnavas. So again, those who are interested, just as a side note, I am a servant at the Bhakti Vedant Bhagavat group, and the website is pureseva.ca, puresev.ca, not .com, CA for Canada. Pure, P-U-R-E, like pure water, S-E-V-A, all one word, .ca. And that will take you to Bhakti Vedant Bhagavat group, and there you will find seminars on all these subject matters, including many lectures on Damodar Ashtakam. And of course, there is a place where if somebody is interested, all the lectures, that is why I have this laptop. It is recorded live on YouTube. My laptop I use as a camera. So then it will be uploaded automatically on the group very soon after the lecture is finished. So those interested may join. So it's a subtle conversation. And in this subtle conversation, Krishna is very pleased with Satyavrat Muni in the sense that he feels everything with Krishna in Vraj is all about kataksha. You'll understand that word kataksham? Sarcasm, sarcastic. Like Radharani says, ha ha ha, बड़े आए तुम महाराज नंद के हो ना, हम वृषभानु नंदिनी है, तुम क्यों हमारे से टैक्स लोगे? दूध दही कोई फुकट में आता है? Meaning, you think you are so big, oh Krishna, that you are asking us for milk and yogurt. I am also daughter of King Vrishabhanu. Don't think that I am something small. But internally, she wants to give Krishna. She is refusing to give, but internally she is thinking, when will Krishna further be more adamant, further how he will pursue, what angle he will speak, that we will be forced to give him ultimately the makhan or the yogurt or the milk. This is very prominent in Braj. What they sometimes say, they don't mean. They mean the opposite. That is called a kataksha. Almost in every sentence there is kataksha. Like, for example, I'll give you a wonderful example. When Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill for 7 days, and at that time, after finishing that heroic deed, the gopis are saying, don't think that you are so great that you lifted Govardhan hill. Don't think that you are so strong and you lifted Govardhan. It is our Sakhi Srimati Radha, and she simply raised her eyebrows at Govardhan and said, you dare not fall. She is the one who actually lifted it. You don't take credit for it. So such wonderful exchanges are there if we get the benefit of hearing such meanings. And that is why Krishna loves those exchanges more than the Brahmanas who are perfect in pronouncing and reciting the Vedic hymns. He prefers that Vishaka call him Lucha, get out of here. You have made our Radharani cry. She doesn't want to see you. Go away. You are Kala and your heart is also Kala. In Brahmar Geet, Radharani is saying that. Radharani's name is not there, it is incognito, but those Rasik Vaishnavas have extracted that honey. That your master, you are black and your master is also black. We see on your whiskers there is different colors of pollen because the bee is going from one flower to another flower. That is why Krishna's name, the Rasik name is Madhusudan. Ah. Madhusudan means bee, one who extracts honey. Madhu means honey and Sudan means one who extracts. In one pastime, in Madhyan Leela, as I was saying, the 12 parts, the 8 different parts, approximately 3 hours each. So Madhyan Leela is midday, Rajbhog time. So in Madhyan Leela, all the cowherd boys, they go away far, and just maybe one or two Priya Narma Sakhas, just like Priya Narma Sakhis of Srimati Radharani are the Ashta Sakhis, Lalita, Vishaka, Tunga Vidya, Chitra, etc. They are known as Priya Narma Sakhis. So Krishna is always Priya Narma Sakhas. So Priya Narma Sakhas, one example is Madhu Mangal. He stays back but far. But when Krishna meets during the lunchtime with the gopis, then at that time, after finishing lunch, again they are relaxing, the gopis are fanning, and Radha and Krishna. So one time, Radharani is lying down, resting after taking the bhogas. One big bumblebee comes, and the bumblebee is thinking that it is the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani is a very beautiful lotus. So it tries to constantly, and Radharani becomes very scared. And she says, Krishna, do something. So he immediately calls out from, because the Priya Narma Sakha is far. He doesn't come inside. If he comes close by, then there will be ras abhas. That Madhuri ras cannot be mixed with Sakhya ras or Vatsalya ras. Not possible. So he calls out, Madhumangal. And Madhumangal, that time he comes when he's called. And he says, this bee is bothering, can you do something? And Madhumangal takes a stick and chases the bee away. He chases the bee away and he deep into the forest, and from far he says, Madhusudan is gone. Madhusudan is gone. And immediately Radharani feels that separation. That is called Prema Vaichitya. You remember I mentioned there are different types of Prema. And in ISKCON we say we want Krishna Prema, but what kind of Prema? That Prema Vaichitya is that kind of Prema in separation, that although they are both together, they feel that they are not there. In anticipation. So that means, let's say if they have to go home, or Krishna has to go back, join the cowherd boys after the midday meal with Radharani and the gopis, then immediately they feel that separation already even in the presence. That is Prem Vaichitya. Another example of Prem Vaichitya is this in this pastime. The moment Radharani heard Madhu Mangal say Madhusudan is gone, she started crying profusely. Why? Because another name of Krishna is Madhusudan. What is the meaning of Madhusudan? Madhu means honey, and Sudan means one who extracts honey. So Krishna is like that. In Madhurya Rasa, he goes to different gopis. So he is that bumblebee who extracts the love, and he receives the love of the different gopis. Therefore his name is Madhusudan. So she is thinking in her head, my Krishna, who is present right in front of me, is gone. He left. That's why she is crying. Did you all understand the point about the separation in presence, although present? So coming back to what was the previous point? Prior to explaining the Nikunja Seva. Yes, the quality, the symptoms or the Manjari. So I was saying the most important thing, Radharani was saying that I will give you the position of gopis, please take it. So the Sattvarit Muni says in his conversation, like when we are upset, Varam Deva Moksham, now Moksham of Deva, please, oh giver of benedictions, please don't try to sweet talk me into taking moksha or going into Vaikuntha. No cho anye. Sanatana Goswami translated, I don't even want that bhakti of Prahlad and Dhruv. Sanatana Goswami said that because I will end up in Vaikuntha. So then he says, okay my dear, what do you want? He says, idam te vapurnatham gopala balam sada me manasi avirashtam ki manni. Please within my heart. But we are not about Gopal Bal. Why are we entertaining Gaudiya Vaishnavas? The next few verses explains Raganuga Bhakti in Madhuri Rasa. So those who are interested, please hear those, because the time is very limited and I have not even actually started this bhajan. So maybe what we can do, we can continue this bhajan tomorrow at some point. That way, uh, the whole idea is why I'm speaking all this, because when we chant the holy names, like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Krishna Nama Dhore Kotobal. This bhajan comes from a book called Sharanagati, the full complete surrender process of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas is explained through the songs of Vaishnava Acharyas like Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And this is the Nam Mahatmya song. So there are many sections in Sharanagati about humility, Atmanivedan, Krishna is my provider, Krishna will always protect me, I have full faith, always performing activities that are good for bhakti, conducive to bhakti. And number 6, whatever is not good for bhakti, we must reject. But Sharanagati doesn't end there. Sharanagati has many higher levels that are expressed in it. And one such thing, at the end, this is the last song, which he had left, saved the best for the last. And the ultimate samam bonam of Sharanagati is chanting the holy names with that bhav. Excuse me, Hare Krishna. So he says, Krishna Naam Dhare Kotobal. How much strength the holy name bears. It is unbelievable. It is so powerful, the holy name. Can you imagine how powerful it is? That when the first day once somebody comes in the temple, most temples keep some malas for japa. They all chant, they're all helped by other Vaishnavas. Please chant. We are practicing that chanting of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. The devotee who has come first day, the devotee who has finished 1 year, the devotee has finished 50 years, the devotee has finished 60 years in this movement, or even outside of ISKCON, the other Gaudiya pure Vaishnavas, they have chanted. But not only that, who else has taken ashray of the holy names? Nandan Krishna himself in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the Gambhira, he intensely chanted 12 years. Why? Because he knows the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is extremely powerful. Krishna Nama Dhore Kotopal. What kind of strength there's Krishna? Nama Chintamani Sri Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta Abhinnatvam Namna Namino. Nama Chintamani. Whatever you ask, the holy name can deliver. But the holy name is non-different. It is Sri Krishna. Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta Abhinnatvam Namna Namino. It is Sri Krishna. One time Srila Prabhupada was I think in Kumbh Mela, and he was in his room and he heard one of his disciples preaching outside his window. Window was open and Prabhupada was hearing intently his disciple preaching to somebody about the holy name. So he used this language, Krishna is in his name. He was explaining to somebody. And Prabhupada said, please call him inside. So that devotee was called. And Prabhupada said, I heard that you are preaching Krishna in his name. Where is Krishna present in his name? Is he between the K and the R, or the R and the I, or between the S and the N, or between the N and the A? And that devotee was flabbergasted. What answer he will give? She said, no, Krishna is his name. So it is so important when we chant the holy names, when we start chanting, when we think about these things, what our Acharya is saying, that you are so powerful. Sri Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. This is a living person. The holy names. Just like you and I, we are. The word that is being used in the Shastra is Nama Chintamani Sri Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. What does Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha mean? Chaitanya means living, conscious. And Rasa means full of mellows. Who can reciprocate when we have rasas? Even we are little, we have those qualities of Krishna. So we have also rasas. We have a rasa with our servants at home. Of master and servant. We have a rasa with our friends. That mellow is there. A friendship. We have the rasa with our children. Like Vatsalya ras. Right? We have the rasa with our wife or somebody who loves us deeply. That is that Madhurya ras type, but perverted, of course. Because it is meant for our sense gratification. So Nama Chintamani Sri Krishna Chaitanya Rasa, this rasa is transcendental rasa. It can give us the different relationships with the Supreme Lord. It can give us entrance into that. And it is living Chaitanya, Vigraha, Rasa Vigraha. Vigraha means, this is Vigraha, this is not statue. Statue is of Gandhiji, Nehru. This is not statue. This is Sri Vigraha. It's Pran Pratishthit. We may not have the eyes, but they can reciprocate. Every day I get darshan of Sri Radharaman from Vrindavan Dham. And sometimes we find, if you take it, if you are getting any darshan like that, look nicely at his lotus face. Sometimes his lips are completely closed. Sometimes his lips are slightly smiling. Sometimes you can see 2 teeth. Sometimes you can see more than a full row of teeth. Sometimes you can see he's angry. Sometimes you can see he's smiling. Even our deities, whenever we are taking darshan, it depends on how the devotee's heart is when taking darshan of the deities. Deities reciprocate. Not everybody will see. Sometimes, we see a smiling Krishna. You may see it, but he may not. Or vice versa. Depending on what our heart actually, Krishna knows that, okay. So externally and superficially, if we take darshan, then we will not be able to see all those different, even in this Vigraha. It reciprocates. See, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. And it fulfills the desire. So it fulfilled, what was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire? Yes, please, everybody. No, he already has Krishna Prem. He himself is Krishna. What was his desire? No. That was the bhav in Gambira. He wanted something. What was that? What did he want? The bhav of Srimati Radharani. So who ashray he took? Mahamantra. Nama Chintamani. It gives us whatever we want. So the optimal use of the holy name is to attain Vraj Prem in Madhurya Rasa for us. He took ashray. Even he himself, the devotee who comes for the first day chanting Mahamantra, and the son of Nanda Maharaj is also chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we can see just in this very first line, the Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Krishna Naam Dhore Kotobal. How much strength the holy name of Krishna is. Vishaya Vasara Nale Mora Chitta Sada Jale. As a sadhak, he is taking such a humble position. I'm full of different kinds of completely, it is burning. When we are in a samsara davanal situation, we feel the heat, the burning. So my heart is basically constantly burning with material desires. If we examine ourselves, we all have material desires. If we are cheating ourselves if we say we don't have it. And if we don't have material desires, then we are already on the platform of Prahlad Maharaj or some pure Vaishnava Acharya. So here he is himself, this he is saying for us, but he is thinking like this, so humble, that my heart is fully burning with, and how is it burning? Krishna Nama Dhore Koto Bal, Visara Vasana Nale, Diya, just like Govindas is saying, Diya Nishi Hiya Jale. In that bhajan, Hari Hari, Vifale, Janavaga. Same thing he's saying. It is Mora Chitta Sada Jale. My heart is burning. Ravi Tapta Maru Bhumi Sama. Just like the scorching sun is burning heat in the desert, scorching desert. Like that, my heart is burning due to material desires. Karna Rantra Pathe Diya, Ridhi Maje Praveshiya. And through the holes, through my ears, the holy names, they enter. And they, with us, it may enter here and come out of here. But with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it enters through the ear, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, and it enters and goes into my heart. Ridhi Maje Praveshya. That is what we should be anticipating. That is what should our prayers be. That when will the holy name enter my heart? Ridhi Maje Praveshya. Varisho hai Karna Randra Patadiya Ridhi Maje Praveshya. Entering through the ears, it enters into my heart. And then he says, Varshiya Sudha Anupam. And when it enters my heart, what is the effect? It rains nectar, Sudha Anupam. It rains nectar. Do we feel that nectar raining in our hearts? That is what our aspiration, our prayer.
It is Rupa with the translated form as sound condition. And it says, important. Please. For 50 other things. Absolutely. Why not? Srila Guru Maharaj, our Nityam said, we have to open crime scene. The problem is we don't cry now. We can cry now.
Huh? No, they know our heart, why we are crying. We are not crying for material things. I hope not. Just wanted to clarify that part. Huh? So if we are crying,
But we should not show our crying. Otherwise, it will become like, let's say, like one devotee Prabhupada was reported that, this one such a devotee is now chanting 300,000 names like Haridas Thakur, sitting in a secluded place. The Prabhupada just shook his hand. It is all drama. 1 day, 2 days, 1 month, one can. We cannot constantly chant like that. So we should make a very humble prayer. One Mataji came to Prabhupada and told, Prabhupada, Prabhupada, and she started crying that I am seeing for the last 3 days Krishna in my dream every day. And Prabhupada shook his head. Don't worry. Next 3 days you will go away. Get the point? That we maybe said there is a very fine line between devotion and emotion. So we may be on a senti platform, not on a pure devotional platform. The crying Nayana is different from what our Acharya is crying. But it is a good symptom. Not to consider that as just like we are chanting right now in Namaprat stage. But does that mean we stop? We don't do it. But we should not display such symptoms in general public, others it will be misunderstood. If a few tears come out, immediately wipe it. Don't make it a show that everybody will see it and they will say, oh, that Mataji is crying so much on a pure devotional platform. That is our Acharya's Madhuri Puripad. That's an example. When he went uh, Remuna, and then Gopinath stole kheer for him. So therefore he was told, Chigir Chol Gopinath. And when Gopinath stole kheer, in the middle of the night, the pujari started Madhuri, 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 Kone, who is it? So he said, yes, I am. He was sleeping under a tree. And he fell flat at his lotus feet. You are such an exalted devotee. Gopinath has stolen kheer. He came in my dream and he said, the kheer you offered me before you, just before Shayan, I took it because my Madhavendra Puri, my dear devotee, went hungry. And he does not take anything unless and until it is offered to him. He has got this ayachak vritti. Yati. He had taken a vow never to ask. But when he went in that line, he thought that I will take some space, some kheer prasadam, and perhaps I will, offer it to our Gopalji, Gopalnathji, Srinathji. But then he withdrew himself. Then he thought that, oh no, what am I doing? I'm not supposed to ask anything. So now this pujari comes in the middle of the night, offers this earthen pot of kheer, saying, you are so fortunate. Gopinath kept this for you. And with a lot of relish, every morsel he took of the kheer, he was rapturing, just like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's description of the Ashtasattvik Vikars were happening in his body. And then after he finished eating all that kheer in that pot, he broke that pot into small pieces and tied it in Uttariya. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentions that every day he used to take a little small piece of that little pot. But Mahaprabhu said that immediately after that, he left. Because he said that in the morning, when everybody in Remuna knows that Gopinath stole kheer from me, they will all offer me obeisances. They will all give me so much respect. Better to leave. So connecting about those tears, connecting about what kind of tears, whether they are emotion or devotion, doesn't matter. At least it is there. We have a soft heart. Even if it is emotion, that softness is hard-hearted persons cannot obtain that devotion. So even if it is on an emotional, but emotional platform should not be misunderstood as pure devotion. From our eyes, and tears come out. Yes, it will give us a glimpse of bliss, that transcendental bliss, but we have not attained it. If we had attained it, okay. Maybe somebody will say, how do you know? So, fine, if it has happened by thousands of obeisances to that pure devotee. But otherwise, that those tears have come out for like maybe 2 minutes, 5 minutes. After that, what? That same devotee is simply doing whatever else they are doing. It is not 24 hours. He is not doing Kirtaniya Sadahari as in Chaitanya Sistastakam. So we can tell that it was on an emotional platform mixed with some devotion, but not on the pure transcendental platform when we are crying. That is the symptoms. That is the answer. We can examine ourselves. It's a great thing. Crying is very important. If we can do that, please do it. But do it in a little bit in such a way that nobody sees us. And also, when that symptoms come, when we feel good about it, then we thank Krishna that may this always remain. Always this bhav. That always that is why Mahaprabhu says, Ai Nanda Tanuja Kim Karo. Please, please. That intensity should be there. Nichitam Vapur Kada, Tava Nama Grihaneshu Bhavishya. He is taking also such a humble position. If Mahaprabhu is saying that when will that day come when I will be profusely crying, Nayana Galadashna Dharaya, Vadaram Gadgadardaya, when I will my speech will falter. Pulkir Nichitam Vapur Kada, when my body will hairs will stand on an end. Tava Nama Grihaneshu. When will that happen? It is already happening to him, but he's saying when will it? So he's thinking that I'm not opting. The more humble, that means the more advanced. And who is this most advanced? Srimati Radharani is moved that Nandan Krishna is opting. She Radharani never feels that she is a devotee. That's the beauty. Never ever she feels that she is a devotee. She feels others are devotees. She pushes others. Come Rukmajiri, do this for Krishna. Come Lalita, please, I request you do this for Krishna. So that is the mood of the acharyas. Any other questions? Yes, brother.
Just to clarify, you said that when we chant, we should think about some leader in the footsteps of Acharya, which is good. Lekin, because we are in this stage, और हमें बोला जाता है और बताया जाता है कि you should just chant and hear. So
Yeah, initially yes, but if it helps, it has helped me. I'm talking from practical experience. Because they have not tried this method, they will say what they know. Supposing if I have only tasted rasgulla, the only sweet in my life, and somebody asks, is there a good sweet? Yeah, rasgulla. But there is also gulab jamun. There is also different varieties of burfis. It is true. But if we add this component, then this distraction will be minimal and slowly it will go away. Yes.
big type of leader should be.
Whatever you like best. The idea is to concentrate the mind. Be absorbed. Sometimes it's a good idea to read Krishna book because it is all beautiful, simply translated. Maybe the previous night before you go to sleep, with good consciousness we go to bed. It's important that otherwise what is the guarantee? No matter how much we are as sadhus, because we have not reached that stage. In our sleep, if we die, what will happen? Most of us we have all kinds of different material dreams. So that verse will then immediately strike. Yam yam vapis paramam tajiti ante kalunam. Whatever your consciousness at the time of death, that will be your destination. The more we practice Krishna consciousness, the more purity comes, then we will always be thinking of Krishna, even before dreams. So the point that you made is a good point, but there is more than that we can try. Just like somebody says, now I'm initiated, I will chant minimum 16 rounds. Is that the goal? Yes or no? We have to strive to chant more and with more quality. So similarly, to answer your question, has it connected the dots? It's true that just hearing the holy names we should chant, but there is more to it. Just not stopping, like example, stopping at 16 rounds, or just not stopping at reading one book, or just not stopping by attending only one lecture in a year. I'm very surprised. Of course, this is a long lecture, I understand. And prasadam is served, but so many resident devotees don't come to lectures. They only come when they have to speak. I've said this in many, many temples. Either they think that they know it all, and they don't need to hear from others. This is a very, very subtle problem. This happens. Even that is happening in sannyasis. When one sannyasi is speaking, rarely I've seen another sannyasi come and sit, even though they are there in the same temple. When brahmachari is speaking, rarely other brahmacharis come and sit. Why? Do we think we know it all? When Rupa Goswami is saying that even if I have thousands of mouths and thousands of ears, I cannot sufficiently describe the glories of Lord Krishna, or I cannot sufficiently hear the glories of Krishna. And those who are sitting in the rooms doing some things in the name of Seva. I have served here in this movement glories for 37, 38 years, and I have worn different hats. Right from Pujari Seva to cooking in the kitchen, Sunday feast or otherwise, or Rajbhog. I know the timings in most temples and how many devotees are needed. So if there are 30 devotees in one temple, for example, and they say they are all doing seva, they are lying. After Guru Puja, what is that seva that they are doing? Maybe the Pujari has to offer 2 cooks, one for Rajbhog in the small temple and one for breakfast prasadam, or let's say 4. 5 of them are not present. What about the other 25? That means they think that they know it all. I'm very sorry to say that, but this is the truth. And I said this yesterday also at ISKCON Whitefield, that whoever is sitting here, somehow or the other, first thing he's reading is Srila Prabhupada's translation and purports. Have we heard every purport of Srila Prabhupada? Have we read every purport? Okay, we read Srimad Bhagavatam once, twice, thrice, 5 times, but do we remember every purport and every translation? We don't, right? Then we should come and sit for Bhagavatam class. This is Srila Prabhupada's order. And then we want this Vraj Prem. It's not a halwa. It will not happen. That humility is needed. We must come to class and we must sit. And this message is to all sannyasis, all brahmacharis, all residents. Don't take this in the name of seva. That, I cannot spend 45 minutes or 1 hour Bhagavatam class. Today's class is a different story. I'm not talking about this center. If some brahmacharis did not come, some did not come, then it is their problem. But it's a major problem. And how can you lead others when you don't do Shravanam? Today I can continue on these verses for another 6 hours if I have to, by the mercy of Guru Gauranga. Because I've heard, I've read, and I speak it as it is. Same thing we all need to do. Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna Updesh. But what kind of Krishna Updesh? Something that really makes sense and is inspiring within the hearts of everyone. That will take us to Vraja Prema. That will enhance our chanting. That will enhance our bhakti. So sometimes my heart is pained when I see that. But some will say, no, don't commit aparadh. No, it is not aparadh. Sorry to say that, my dear devotees. It's an observation. If you have worn a grey jacket, it's a grey jacket. If you have worn a grey shawl, it's a grey shawl. If they are not coming to Mangal Aarti, if they are not coming to morning program, at least one program, either Guru Puja, Mangal, ideally speaking, we should come to all. But there are certain circumstances that we may not be able to come to Mangal Aarti because the preaching has been late or due to some reason, we cannot. But at least come for Guru Puja, at least sit for Bhagavatam class. Problem is we don't hear Srila Prabhupada's books or read. If reading is not possible, at least hear. Everything that I have said is all from the Acharya's teachings. Nothing from outside. What? I'm such a nonsensical person. I have no brains. How will I manufacture all this? That is the beauty of our Parampara. Speak as it is. Hear as it is. Speak as it is. If we are not able to do that, then we are not pleased, Srila Prabhupada. We are imagining, just like the Mayavadis are imagining. What is that verse? Aruva Kruchena Patanti Adha, something like that, right? Vimukta Manena. They think they are liberated, but then they fall down. Patanti Adha. And the Mayavadis, they think they are liberated. They have merged into the Brahman. But ultimately, then they fall down. Similarly, we are also, if we have that attitude that I know it all, I don't need to hear, I don't need to sit from other devotees, and that's a big problem in our lives, then we will not advance that fast. Take millions of births, it's okay. It is still good, whatever we are doing, even little bhakti, but why? Prabhupada has given just one component of bhakti? No. He has given so many wonderful components. For the beginner, it's okay. You take whatever is okay for you, so easy for you. Take that. But for those who are in the temple, and then they boast, I'm here for so many years, I'm senior, this, that, falana, dikna. But then where is your seniority in terms of realization, my dear friend? How much are you following Srila Prabhupada? It's the order of the Acharya. Even if there is one person in Bhagavatam class, the speaker should speak and not walk away. One time this happened, and I'm asking for all of each one of your blessings that such, whatever I speak, I'm able to follow in my personal life. And I try my best also, but I constantly seek the blessings. One time I was in one temple in US, and there were only 2 devotees for Bhagavatam class, and I was the scheduled speaker to speak. Finished the Bhagavatam, and then my wife tells me that where are the rest of them? And there's about 80, 90 devotees in that complex. They did not go. I said, that's okay. As far as I'm concerned, you know, I've been given this opportunity to purify myself. Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that when you're preaching minimum to 2 persons. First to yourself and then to the other. So when we sit on this Vyasasana with that consciousness, then definitely sooner or later that proper pure devotional attitude will come, will be blessed with that. So then I told my wife, who said there were only 2 persons? Huh? Shall we count how many? So we have the number 1, Srila Prabhupada's deity. 2, the 6 Goswamis. 7. Then our other acharyas. 4, 11. Then Gaur Nitai. 13, Radha Krishna. 15, Jagannath Baldev, Subhadra Devi and Sudarshan Chakra. 19, Gopal Nath Ji. 20, Lord Narsingadev and Prahlad Maharaj. 22, minimum 22 personalities were there. So, speaker should never get discouraged. Those who are performing kirtan should never get discouraged. Whether there are 100,000 people, 1,000 people, or 1 person in the, or no people. We do this for the pleasure. So whatever I am speaking, first thing I pray to Radha Vinod Ji that please, whatever I speak will be pleasurable to hear, for you to hear. To Prabhupada. Never get discouraged. So what if others are not coming, but we should come. We should follow the order of Srila Prabhupada. Never get discouraged. But of course, it's up to the leaders how to encourage others. Yad yad acharya shrestha. We all know that verse, but how much we really absorb. Especially the administration. Those who have been given, they are blessed with their powerful position. Why they are not there? That question I asked openly. And I'm not afraid. If you don't want to call me back, don't call me back. But I'm the one to speak the truth on the Vyasas. Hopefully it will open the eyes of those who are not following Prabhupada's orders. If one door closes for me, I've seen in my life, 20 more have opened. So if you appreciate what I'm saying, speaking the truth, well and good. If not, I'm not here to criticize. I'm here to remind us what Prabhupada wanted. This is not criticism. It's an observation. In the name, a lot of them, they scared the devotees to death when they say, this is aparad, don't say. What aparad? If somebody is not performing properly, if it's an observation, then we can have the authority to go and complain to the senior Vaishnavas. It is not aparad. If a senior Vaishnava, so-called senior Vaishnava, is not performing properly, We have the authority to go to their seniors, to go to the GBC. It is not aparadha. But they put this booth, this ghost in their heads. It's aparadha. Don't say, don't say. Aparadha is when we don't follow Prabhupada's orders. Aparadha is that we want this, but we are not qualified. Because we are not knowingly performing our sadhana. Knowingly we are not performing. Out of laziness, out of tardiness, etc. So I hope whatever I said makes sense. Yes or no? I want to hear. Even if it's no, I want to hear it. Yes or no? All of you agree? Prabhuji, what about you? Do you agree? Yeah. You agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Prabhuji, if you are not being told to, if anything is going wrong, someone is going to me, if you are not being told by your senior, and can you voluntarily do that? Can you voluntarily go and say that?
I didn't understand the question. Can you rephrase?
You are mentioning that, if you observe something which is going wrong, and you can go and tell the senior about it.
Yes.
If my senior has not told me to do this, if I do that voluntarily,
When you say voluntarily means what action? Can you specify? Or give me an example.
so if something is going wrong,
Yeah.
and I see that it's not correct,
Huh.
but I am not in that department.
Okay, so what you're saying is you don't go to the senior, but you do it yourself. No, then I didn't understand.
He's telling that there is something going wrong in particular department.
Okay,
He's
understood that part.
observing that.
Yes.
And if he go, although it is not his service to look after the department or see anything in the department, but if he goes to the concerned person and if he tells that, okay, this is happening in the department, is it wrong or is it okay?
No, it is not wrong. As long as we are not doing it out of envy. Sometimes we complain out of envy because we don't like that devotee. But if it is for the pure consciousness that something that is not right, that is going on, and Prabhupada will not be pleased if we do it with that heart, solely for the betterment of our ISKCON, or betterment of that particular temple, or betterment of that particular department, it is perfect. But if we don't like that person and we complain, then it is basically a very kanishta kind of an attitude. Just because I don't like you, I will find fault and complain about you. No, not that.
Yeah, we talked from the beginning, Prabhuji, that do not hold a person responsible for any problem. You hold the system for any problem. What is wrong? That is lacking in the system. That is not correct.
The system is made by people.
Yeah.
So how can you say if somebody is doing wrong, then that means let me finish, Prabhuji. When they are doing something wrong, that means they are captured by Rajagun, Tamagun or Satagun. If they're not following the Acharya's wishes or desires or orders, so naturally they have that weakness moment. So it is not the system. The system is made by the people. And when the people who have made the system, they don't follow, or those who are in that system don't follow, it is the persons. System has no, it's just like, somebody has made this computer by putting in all the components in it. And then it is a system. But somebody who has not done the job right, this computer is not going to function properly. The functioning of this computer is dependent on the person who has made this computer or is responsible for the different various aspects of building this computer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Whatever somebody told you, I would like to, then this is how you tell them. That who has the system? For example, you can say that the politician is not wrong, but the government is wrong. But the government is made by the politicians. If the politicians are corrupt, if they are doing wrong, then naturally the government as the whole body will do wrong. The system will be wrong. But it is the individuals whose actions are responsible.
Does this make sense to you, Prabhuji? Or do you want to add something?
There should always be scope for modifications in the system. The system is made based on the current circumstances. In the current circumstances, so if there is scope for improvement in the system itself, so that can be thought of. Maybe I have done this system, so the person following me this way. If I do this system, the person will follow that. So there could be some recognize the system itself.
It's a little complicated. I'm still not understanding the second part of your statement or question. But ultimately, the system is made by a living person. It does not happen automatically. And if a change needs to be made for the betterment, then we must do it.
I got your answer.
Yeah, we must do it. Sometimes we make a system because we are what? We have all these four eyes. In everyday, we make mistakes. We have inclination to cheat. Third, what is that? We have a subjective illusion. And the fourth, no, we already said inclination. Fourth is what? Imperfect senses. These four. So if such persons are making a system and we find that there is a flaw, then over a period of time, our experience will tell us or somebody will give us feedback, then we have to take that seriously and change it. Yes. But the most perfect person is Prabhupada. He has given us this system. Attend Mangalarti, attend Sringar Guru Puja, attend Bhagavata class. We don't change that. Prabhupada has given his books. We don't change his books. The perfect person has given the perfect system. You and I may not be imperfect, which we are. And so many of us who are trying to serve, we all are imperfect. But if we follow the perfect person, then there is no question. No need to reinvent the wheel. The problem right now that there's even in ISKCON, we have these two factions, ISKCON West and ISKCON East. They're breaking ISKCON. In the West, unfortunately, persons like Hridayananda Goswami, he has changed everything. Something craziness has gone in his head. He wears the clothes like a father, like the black suit, black pants. Being a sannyasi, he should be wearing the sannyas dress. And so many deviations are happening. In Toronto, for example, the great leader there said that no, we must not offer Indian food to Krishna. Only pizza, pasta, all that. What is this? When the new center opened, we created a website, and because he was the authority there, we said, please see this, examine it, see if there is any suggestion. He said, take out all those photographs with the tila of the devotees. Don't put any deity or photo in the temple, just call it yoga center. We want to attract the Westerners, the Americans, the Canadians. We want to attract them. So one of us said that, respectfully, sir, you've been around in the movement for the last at least 45 years. How many Westerners have you attracted? Your system that you are putting in place is not the system of Prabhupada. Prabhupada never said that in Krishna's Bhoga Thali we should have all these items and not any Vedic items. Bhaja Bhagavata Vatsala Sri Gaura Hari. In that, so many wonderful items have been listed, Vaishnava Bhakti Thakur. That is what we should offer to Mahaprabhu, that is what we should offer to Krishna. It's okay if you still offer pizza, pasta, cakes without eggs and all that. Krishna will kindly accept. But to say stop offering the Vedic bhoga and only this, no, what do you call, chili powder. That person would come in the kitchen and throw away the whole jar of chili powder. Some devotees, when they would come and cook for Sunday feast, everybody would complain there is no swad. What kind of bhoga we are offering to Krishna? If we cannot even tolerate it, when we take it, it is such a big offense. If we don't like it, meaning generally more than if hundreds of devotees are saying that there was no swad or it's no salt,
or there was no proportionate masala in the prasadam, that means there is something wrong. That means our dear Krishna has to tolerate it and eat it because we have put tulsi leaf on it. No, that's it. I told recently when I was in Vrindavan, after my seminar, Janardhan Maharaj, you all know him? Yeah, he gave a seminar on Kirtan standards. I said, Maharaj, somebody should, make this awareness of cooking standards in ISKCON. The cooking standards is very important. We must do that. Just anybody comes, anybody cooks, and cooks according to their liking. No. Some standard, we are the deities, they are the supreme personalities of Godhead who are right there on the altar. They should be able to relish it. So that is Krishna West. Don't call it Hare Krishna. Don't say Hare Krishna initially. Greet them with Namaste. What is this? Did Srila Prabhupada never do that? He always said Hare Krishna. Even when the devotees were coming and complaining in Australia, and they said, the businessman on the street where we are doing Sankirtan, Nagar Kirtan, they are complaining, they are saying these Hare Krishnas are disturbing us. And Prabhupada simply laughed. At least they said Hare Krishna. So we are taking away the most important and integral component, those who are trying to break ISKCON by making it ISKCON West, by trying to implement all those Western policies. They will always fail. Prabhupada never did that. Prabhupada was offered this suggestion that why don't you, Prabhupada, call this our movement? Haribol. Why don't you call this movement the International Society for God Consciousness? Prabhupada said, no, God is Krishna, Krishna is God, therefore we will call it the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Many well-wishers came, even the lawyer, Mr. Goldstein, came, and he said, that's a good name, Swamiji, please. That way we will attract more people if you use the word Krishna. And here this Swamiji is saying, don't use the word Krishna. Now, shall I follow him or shall I follow Prabhupada? That's the point. So any leader who doesn't follow Prabhupada, we don't need to follow him. It is not an offense. But in order to understand Prabhupada, we have to read his books thoroughly. We have to hear from the right persons what Srila Prabhupada means, what he's saying. Make sense? Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much for your kind patience and for sitting through the class. And tomorrow we will continue with the 4 other verses. And we will conclude the songs of the Vaishnava Acharyas, at least in my trip here to ISKCON ICC. I'm very grateful. Please forgive me if I've sounded very hard like a thunderbolt sometimes, but that is what all our acharyas actually are and they want. So we have to follow in their footsteps. Because we are all brothers and sisters, God brothers and God sisters. Not only just because we are initiated by a particular spiritual master that is looking like this then. All of us, even those who have not been initiated, they're coming to Aarti, they're bowing down to Srila Prabhupada, they're bowing down to the deities. We should have that affection like our own brothers and sisters. We should have a very wide scope of understanding. Not limit ourselves. So this is out of love I'm saying this, because I think every ISKCON center is my center. It is my Prabhupada center. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki, Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur ji ki, Sharanagati Granth ki, Gaur Premanande.